Too Much Dip Podcast. It's Tuesday. Sorry for the wait. My name is Dave. I'm going to host. Joining me in studio, producing, having fun, fresh off of his game show that you can hear only on Patreon. It's Randy Trumbacki.
Hi, David. It's a good game show. Very good game show. Very funny. Very long. Very good.
Good sell. People are just flocking over right now to give us their heart.
I don't know. They might turn off Too Much Dip and just go.
They might turn it off. That's fair. So thank you, Randy. In studio, as always. Just, wow. An optimized desk over there. On the one hand, you got the breakers, courtesy of Lucy. On the other hand, you got the Celsius, courtesy of Celsius. It's Dylan Shivery.
I probably shouldn't take a sip right as you intro me. That wasn't very smart. Anyway,
Untimed.
happy to be here. It's going to be a fantastic episode. And Randy, it was a very fun game show. You undersold it quite a bit. I hate to admit that Big Daddy, what's his face?
Big Daddy Dave, that's me.
Big Daddy Mark.
Big Daddy Mark. That it's starting to become funny to me, and I'm not proud of that.
You should hear him do sipping on some scissor.
I love that song.
Well, you got to hear his rendition.
Sipping on some scissor.
Yeah, that's how the song goes,
Yeah.
but that's not how it's. He has a little bit more bravado in his voice.
That song was a big player right around the time everyone got subs in their car in at my high school.
Yeah,
and so it was played in the Henderson parking lot quite a bit.
Man,
Sick.
You don't want to mess with those guys.
It was just some suburb white kid who thought he was cool, but
It was you, wasn't it?
It was me. Yeah, that song does go.
It really does. It
Yeah.
made me want to do a bunch of drugs I was very unfamiliar with at that point in my life. And
Yes.
honestly, a lot of that shit still am. Here's a guy who's very familiar with the drugs, KJ.
Happy to be here, fellas. I have to say right off the top, as I'm in my most generic all black fit, minus the cap because I'm a little nappy today. Dave,
Yeah,
I know I've been telling you, or you've been telling me off the show, like, hey, you don't really care who wins in November, but you are, you're over the White POTUS, but you got that White Lotus vibe right now, and I love it. Fucking love that shirt.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, I wrote down White POTUS so I didn't forget. Of course.
Look, man, I just refuse to take part in a system, like that we have, the two-party system. Like, when are we going to move on from that? White POTUS. I'm more of a white pony guy. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
More of a Pink Pony Club guy, but go ahead.
Oh,
Thanks,
Okay.
Deftones.
good to have you on. KJ, what is that? What kind of polo is that? Looks like you're really showing the guns off today. I hope you're getting out and about in Wisconsin and really putting out the vibe.
It might be a great value polo. I have no idea where this polo came from.
Randy's nodding his head. He approves.
This is probably from my disposable t-shirt era where I would acquire a shirt on the way to the bar, maybe not see that shirt ever again because it would shrink. Probably said fucking 7-Up, but weathered.
Walk us through that.
Yeah. I'm
What do you
gonna
mean?
have to break down the acquire a shirt on the way to the bar.
You just walk into a store shirtless and be like, "This okay?" Picking one up and then go into the bar.
I would wear a shirt that I would call an A shirt. Dave's calling it a beater of some sort. I would wear that to a Target, buy a shirt and wear that shirt out of a Target. Along with, I don't know, 18 pack of twist top aluminum bad boys from Miller.
Okay, this is extremely white trash behavior. Just walking in. What's going on?
It might be the most white trash thing you've ever done, KJ.
Just walking in.
I'm
like,
from Central Illinois. What do you expect? That's where I was born.
You've
In
electrocuted
fucking
yourself,
cornfield.
and this is somehow more white
Exactly.
trash.
Okay.
Just coming to my full form here.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Hey, go sub our youtube.com/toomuchdip. Also, we need reviews. We need ratings and reviews. You can do that on Spotify now. You can do it on pretty much. I think every podcast platform has a review and rating service. So please go do that. Give us 5 stars only, please. Also, want to give a shout out to our good friends at Rowback.
Ooh.
What's that code, Dylan?
The code is WASHED20. and that will get you 20% off at rollback.com. They have pretty much everything at this point. It's jogger season, it's hoodie season, it's QZ season. They have fantastic crew necks. They're all extremely soft and lightweight.
Officially licensed school merch.
University apparel. It's all really, really good looking. And a polo for literally every occasion. So go check out rollback.com. And again, use code WASHED20 for 20% off at checkout. A one-time use code. So don't just buy like a hat and then come back later. You're going to regret that.
Yeah. I mean, buy the hat. The hat's
Buy the hat, but like other stuff with it.
And they wash
I've got
well.
an idea.
What's the idea?
As you said, officially licensed school apparel, and Dylan went out of his way to correct you to university apparel. Let me know when Roadback drops that like Austin Anderson High School line.
Ooh.
Let me get that DHS logo on there, a little VFND from Lamar. Get a PS19.
We're not that far from an officially licensed like Duncanville High School rowback.
No, seriously, I'm half expecting that at this point.
If they want to make it, I mean,
My Trojans looking tough this year, by the way.
oh yeah.
I don't know. I know they won their first game, and then I stopped paying attention.
That's a tough mascot. I love that.
Hell yeah.
The Trojans.
I only know that as Euless Trinity.
100%.
That's the only one I do know.
100% of our opponents would have signs at every game that said "Bust through the Trojans,"
Huh.
and we were like,
Okay.
"Ha, that's good." It was at every game.
Yeah, you got to get a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
I would maybe get a little bit more into the history of what war was that?
It
Spartan.
was the Trojan War.
Yeah, the Trojan War.
I don't know, but it's not the Iliad.
They need to bring back Trojan Man. Remember Trojan, Man? That's funny for a
jingle.
time. As a 13-year-old, I was like, "Oh, dude,
Oh, condoms.
God, I can't wait till I wear
Six.
condoms." And then like it's funny how that switches.
And then you're like, "Damn, these things suck."
What the fuck? What the hell? Then you never wear one again.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Wear condoms, guys. Hey, speaking of high school, I'll give a high school sports update. Alabama commit Keelan Russell, 6 Tudsters, Tuddy McTuttersons against the Waxahachie Indians.
You know, he does have 2 5-stars he's throwing to. So, like, I could throw a few touchdowns, I think.
That's fair. That is. It seems very unfair to have
At the high school level.
2 very important positions
Yeah.
on the offense. So you guys 5 stars, but yeah.
No, he's good. He's very good.
He's good. I'm really excited. You might see me going full Will DeFreeze on Bama next year.
You got some Panthers on the Texas squad.
I've been
Colin
watching
Simmons
him, man.
looking real tough.
I'm
baby.
excited for him, man. I knew he was going to be good, but you never know if it's going to take a guy 2 years, 3 years to fully reach it, and he has not fully reached it. But he's graded out well, is what I've been told.
They grew him different down up around Duncanville way.
You know, I was just happy to kind of show him the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Who had that Keelan Russell commitment originally? Who did Alabama flip him from?
SMU.
It was the Ponies.
Yeah.
But they don't really
Yeah,
need him,
no.
man. We'll get to them later, but it doesn't look like they really need any help on the offense. Putting up 70 points against them Horned Frogs, getting their coach kicked out.
Welcome.
I want to talk NFL off the rip. Is that cool?
Sure.
No.
Look, KJ, the whole reason we did the show Tuesday is because you're like, look, I cannot wait to talk about what my Jags are going to do to Brett's Bills. This is going to be the turnaround. And so here we are. We could start there because it's topical. The Bills look fucking nasty. Josh Allen looks phenomenal. I was really stoked to turn that game on. I did bedtime, and then I was like, wow, I can't wait to go watch the Bills. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, 2 marquee quarterbacks. And it was fucking, like, shit was over. It's like, okay. What the hell? What happened, dude?
It's not looking good. I kind of alluded to what's wrong with the Jags a couple weeks ago when I said they've built their team the complete opposite of the Texans, but it's true. They brought in a really good quarterback. I still think you could win games with Trevor Lawrence. If you win with with Herbert, Justin Herbert, if you can win with Dak, like those are equally talented teams in my book, or quarterbacks, like just skill set wise. If you build around them properly. Go look up in Philadelphia. Lesser talented quarterback built around properly. they threw a bunch of weapons at the wall, no line, and their playbook's getting old. So shit's rough. It's not fun to see. But it is what it is. We're used to losing. We don't expect year in, year out success. We won the division last year. We're over it.
What year is this for T-Law? I call him.
Fourth?
Feels like
Fourth
4.
year? Okay. I'm not sure I'm there with you on him being and this isn't me saying Dak is like, a tier 1 or 2 quarterback, but do you really think he's on par with Dak and Herbert?
Skill set without question. Yeah. But I attribute a lot of Dak's success to the abundance of weapons he's consistently had around him, which includes like a competent offensive line for the first 6 years and surprisingly competent for the last 2 years, minus a running game.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Trevor Lawrence though with coming out of college with the hype, I expected this, by now him to be a potential MVP conversation guy.
I think I brought that up because I'm not really seeing it with him. He's never. I've never been like, oh, he's like, they need a drive out of Trevor Lawrence, and like I'm confident he's going to put one together. I've never seen him be like the guy. He's just okay, in my opinion. And I'm sorry to say that about your team, KJ.
I would offer this in those 4 years, since we're honing in on Dak, because I think that's where we should go next. Trevor Lawrence has won a playoff game. He's also lost. He's 1-1. Dak's only won 2. He's obviously played in 7 or whatever, but I
don't think it's 7.
Nobody should say over the last 6 years or whatever, would you ever say the Jags started the season with an unquestionably better roster or in a less competitive conference than the Cowboys? So I would say him getting a playoff win, meaningless. I get it. There were a bunch of picks in that game and then came back and won. He is producing above what his skill set, what his tools have been, is what I would say. He has made a difference.
I think comparing him to Dak is maybe taking your eye off the ball a little bit. I just if you compare him to other, franchise quarterbacks, I think it's pretty clear that he's underperforming.
I agree.
I'd have to look at Josh Allen above. I don't want to go one by one, but the cut is there where there's probably 6 or 7 above. Joe Burrow.
There are 7 good quarterbacks in the NFL.
Above Trevor.
Yeah,
above Trevor.
Quarterbacks that you can really make a playoff run with. There are about 7. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is in that group.
Was it the Jags GM who had a quote before the season that this was potentially the best Jags roster ever? I'm not exaggerating. I think that was the quote.
I guess there's a different GM now, but our Stephen Jones is Tony Sink, who is essentially the Vince McMahon of AEW, plus a lot of cocaine.
Yes. So he'll give you a quote.
A lot of problematic fits. We've got an Eric Trump or DJ TJ as our Stephen Jones. There are way more problems in that building than Trevor. So I own it. Whatever. It's what I signed up for. It's not changing anytime soon. But what I will say, and what comforts me at night, is that I did not wake up this morning expecting Super Bowl, and I feel like that is in the DNA of every Cowboys fan every single year, every single week.
I guess I don't know why. I don't know why it comes back to us. We're just talking about the game last night.
That was transitioning to maybe the next team. I didn't think we wanted to do 20 on the Jags, but I'm saying
we want to give you the form.
We suck and I accept it.
Well,
we suck and I accept it.
I woke up this morning just totally expecting Super Bowl. I don't know about you. So much so that I created a new segment. It's called Dave's Cowboy Thoughts. I have compiled 8 thoughts, and I will let you guys kick them around.
I would love to hear what your thoughts are.
These are all from the game. Number 1.
They stink, baby. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I want a Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding. That's not it. It's if the Jones family is going to be the face of the franchise, we should be entitled to a tunnel shot each week with audio. I did not see a tunnel shot this week, and that pisses me off because it's by far my favorite part about losing a game.
Do you think Jerry shut the tunnel shot down after the whole Jones family caught the smoke last week?
I don't know if he can. Maybe he decided to not get all the boys together
Right.
and go down at the same time.
They took.
That sounded weird.
They went like through side doors to get to wherever they
Yeah,
were.
yeah. Because the tunnel shot from the Saints game is just iconic, and poor Will McClay was in there for, I don't know how he got stuck in that thing, got lopped in there, but you got to just let the Jones family do their thing and let them go down there. You don't want to be associated with that. But we should be given that shot each week.
I thought this was like a Rich Dalrymple thing. Like I was trying to catch up on what you were going for as far as tunnel shots in the Jones family.
Different shot.
But you're talking about like the Armageddon, like astronauts walking down the
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
hallway shot. Okay.
It
yeah,
should be
that
them
is-
looking like badasses, but it's really just them like
Looking sad.
that
the
face.
NBA pregame shot. Like the NBA is like fucking capitalized. I'm like, hey, we're just gonna call this real generic ass gray hallway a fashion runway and just make a thing out of it. And they've done
Exactly.
that. Okay. I'm down for it.
I can't wait for Deuce Vaughn to get released, picked up by a competent offensive mind and used correctly.
That would be good. I would love to see that as well.
If you don't know Deuce Vaughn, you didn't watch much Big 12 football.
He was
tiny fella.
He was always my least favorite running back to when Texas played because he's a little squirt who just you can't touch him, man. He's very shifty, and he finds yards where other running backs don't, and he's got I would think he could add a little juice to this offense.
It seems like if they have a plan for him, and he is not your RB1, he's not your RB2, he is your RB3 at this point. By all accounts, has good hands, and you kind of are like, oh well, they gave him a roster spot. They're gonna find ways to get him the ball, whether it be on a screen, whether it be on just check down something in the flat. I don't know. You line him up in the slot. They've done none of that this year. And they're just seemingly okay with using him as like a normal running back, which I guess I thought early on that they're saving that stuff. You don't want to give away all your, you don't want to tip your hand yet. But now it's just like we're not running the ball. We're averaging. I don't know what. I think Zeke had like 6 yards last week. So I'm just like, dude, they're gonna get him down, and he's gonna end up in Miami. I don't know he's gonna end up in somewhere where there's going to be someone who's like, oh, we can use this guy. And they're going to do cool shit with him, and I'm going to be mad. I just think that's going to be the case in a couple years.
Baltimore might be your your choice. Somewhere where you've got an oversized running back, RB1. Breece Hall gets moved from New York. I could see him with Braylon Allen. Yeah.
That would be
it's not
mega
like y'all don't have
cute.
Kevontae Turpin as a web back or a weapons guy. So, yeah, of course you don't need Deuce Vaughn, too.
I forget. Yeah, Turpin. Turpin had a couple Tud McTudsters the other night. Okay, and then my third one, sneaky rooted for a potential game-tying or winning drive to be halted by the sun burning through the windows of that stupid fucking stadium. I was watching it, and that's how that was the point of that game, because I was actually like starting to prepare dinner at that point. And I was like, and Alyssa's like, they might actually do this. And I was kind of watching it from the kitchen. I was like, yeah, they might. And then I'm watching and I'm seeing the stadium and I'm seeing the sun shining through. And I'm just like, what if this comes down to a receiver, like CD, God forbid CD, or like Cooks drops one in the end zone because he couldn't see. I was like, that would just be perfect. That's a perfect way for them to fucking lose.
Yeah, the end of that game was almost as frustrating. I mean, it was cool to see them like have a little life at the end of the game. Like, okay, we're actually starting to do something here. And then, of course, it like doesn't end up in a dub.
It is perfect.
Yeah, it was.
It's perfect that they can get back, make it close enough to where, 2 years from now you look back on that game and you're like,
oh, it's close.
If the Ravens win the Super Bowl this year, you're like, man, we played them pretty well. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No.
You really didn't. For having I've said this a number of times this season, having a quarterback who is not mobile at all is very painful to watch. How is Dak this slow? Is having your foot sideways a death sentence for the quarterback? His foot was sideways.
I missed
Sitting
this.
sideways.
You don't remember when Dak got his foot?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he is so immobile.
Yeah.
It is shocking.
Okay. Yeah.
You got to think a little bit of it's. Sorry, I was going to say a little bit might be not fear. I don't want to say fear, but like the conservation, like business decisions being made. It's not like your running backs are doing anything on this defense. Are you really going to go out there and go crazy?
It's very fair. I feel like you saw it. I saw it a little bit more last year. I don't know. It's just when you're not moving the ball at all and your guys aren't getting open and it seems like your play calling is pretty stale. It's like, I don't know. You watch enough college ball and you see like these kids and they're like, fuck it, I'll take it. And you kind of, I don't know, a mojo moment. You get Dak out there. He tucks it, takes it 15 yards. Maybe, this is dumb, but he lowers his shoulder, gets a little life injected into the stadium. You're down 28-3 or whatever. I don't know. You'd like to see it.
Yeah,
and it's just, even if he did it, he
just kind of lumbers around in the pocket now.
He's a lumbering lad now,
Yeah,
and
he's a
that makes me
lumbering lad.
sad.
Is it because maybe he's got a kid at home, like going through 6-month sleep regression?
Very, very possible. I keep forgetting about the kid angle. But you'd think that would make him even more. He's got dad dick now.
He sure
Dylan?
does.
Number 5, Brady's gotten better, Tom Brady, but he's getting away with some Romo noises, and I don't think he's been called out for it because he had
Ooh.
some.
What do they sound like? Because I haven't heard them.
That's not one.
Oh,
A little less high pitched, but they're not far from it. And I was like, okay, I'm looking out for those.
Okay.
the guy can't win. I think people were giving him shit saying he needed to be more excited. Now he's like, oh, you're getting Romo excited. Like, dial it back.
He's good. He's not bad at all.
He's called a Cowboys game every week so far.
And 2 of them have been absolutely terrible games.
Yeah.
So he hasn't actually, all 3 have been bad. The Cleveland game was terrible from just like not exciting. I mean, the Cowboy game, this one became exciting, but it wasn't until, garbage time,
It's kind of
basically.
called a different game at some point.
Got to get him out of there. 6, group texts are ruining my viewing experience. People are just picking fights based on prior statements. It's a bad time to be a Cowboy fan. It's just all the infighting in my Cowboy fan group text from high school buddies. Like, I'm hearing the same thing. Like, oh, good thing we paid Dak and CD. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
yeah, okay, you're right. Like, I would like for them to be playing better as well, but like, it's such a like reductive thing, and it's like, do you really want to?
You have to pay him.
If they're not there, you're going to bitch like, why didn't we pay?
Oh yeah, we suck. We suck because we didn't extend CD. We didn't pay him.
This group text has gotten. It's like stuff you would say at Buffalo Wild Wings with your buddies if you're watching the game, but people are actually
Abbreviate that, make that the title of the group text.
B-dubs.
You ever go
B-dub
to
convo.
You ever go to a football game live and there are people around you who just don't know ball
Yeah,
and they make comments?
it's the best.
Remember that woman sitting behind us at the Louisville game the other day? What did she say? God, what did she say? She was clearly not a ball knower, and we made a sly little comment at her.
There was some stuff said behind us at that game that was like,
Get him.
Like he's no Teddy Bridgewater.
I forgot what she said, but it was clearly like
no.
she clearly just didn't know, the game. And not that I'm like, a pro.
No, but like I know like when
I understand the
to
game,
like
though.
say something loud. If it's something like I'm not gonna identify the mic
Yeah.
out loud in front of the crowd because I don't know.
Or like it's halftime and there's 28 seconds left and you're on your own 30. Why are you running the ball?
Yeah,
It's
God.
because because bad things are gonna happen if you throw it right now, and that's it's you don't want that.
Yeah, this one's getting kind of personal because it's like I think part of the group text was like sticking up for Dak last year, and like some people like haven't forgotten that. So now anytime Dak does anything wrong, or anytime it's like good thing we paid Dak. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna like. What do you do? Entertain it via text while I'm trying to watch the game? It sucks, dude.
Yeah, I hear
I might
ya.
just leave it. Fuck it.
You
glad
got to
I'm
call a
not in that.
moratorium like during games. Like it's got to be minimal. I think the chatter in our group text was like Micah called out everything but the Cowboys, and I picked on him for doing just that. But I wasn't even intending to like talk shit about the Cowboys.
Oh, that Micah.
Yeah,
I was thinking Micah
yes,
Parsons.
that Micah.
Okay.
No. Micah did hop on the microphone, do a mini pod mid game. I would not be shocked if he doesn't get in trouble. Like they're up 40 in a game and he like drops them, goes live or some shit. Like he's going to do that.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. And now
Sorry,
I'm
I
gonna.
interrupted the list.
No. This is good because this has a lot to do with Micah and his antics. Our best players, who I dub CD and Micah, have the worst body language on the field. When it's not going their way, they don't look like CD especially, but Micah, if you watch him too,
He pouts, or he
And-
just like keeps to himself and just he looks angry.
Watches
and-
the big screen.
yeah.
he looks down bad, and maybe it's because I don't know how much it is that they are like putting the camera on him more so than like he's getting more camera time than Overshown or DeMarcus Lawrence, right? But man, he looks dejected, and CD's body language is really bad too. Really, really
Oh,
bad. Like
yeah.
to the point to where like he's arguing with Dak on the sideline. Something's not right there, and it is tough times.
He's got slumped shoulder. It's his problem. Like immediately just lets his arms dangle. And,
Yeah.
And because he is longer armed than he probably should be for his height, it just stands out. He just kind of
Micah?
slumps. No.
CD.
CD. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. God, he does have a insanely like unique. This is going to sound. How do I make this not sound weird? He has a very unique build body. I was going to say body, but like he's just so he's like appears to be extremely durable, but he's not super thick. But he's very. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, dude just got paid, and he looks like he's having a real bad time. It just means more, maybe.
Does that conclude your thoughts?
One more Belichick
Okay.
talk is about to get real hot. That's it.
Oh no. That's gonna be a shit show if so.
There was a quote
Um,
yesterday, KJ, that I don't know if you saw, but it was just him on whatever network he does a show with, and he said something like, "They've got the roster, they've got the talent," and it's kind of like, "Oh, saying
I would take just any warm body except for other than Mike McCarthy at this point. We keep throwing the same rolling the same guys out there with the same lame dick head coach, and not like nothing is improving. Like at what point do you just swap them out? At what point?
Could
I'm
I
just over
recommend
it.
another pre or post game analyst who said everybody knows it now. The Cowboys are just not a physical football team, which I thought was rich as those comments came from one Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett said that?
Oh, yes. Like without reservation at all. Like
Oh.
unprompted, gave unfiltered thoughts. He wasn't rude. He didn't call anybody out by name, but directly said they were not a tough football team.
I mean,
and
he's
then
not.
looked in the
he's not
camera.
wrong.
Didn't look off to like his partner on set. So you didn't have to like catch him. Look straight at the camera. And I'm like, talk your shit, Red Ball. Good for you.
Hey, you know what?
It's your fault, but
I-
fuck it.
I appreciate that. And
I do too.
I don't think he's wrong. It is.
Let him hear it.
Yikes.
Not good.
Not
This is
good.
going
They're
to
not
sound
doing
very
well.
stereotypical or cliche and or possibly like whatever. They are missing a Leighton Vander Esch, Sean Lee, Jason Witten, Zach
just-
Martin.
You're just listing white guys at this point.
I am not intentionally listing white guys.
Those are three really
But-
white guys.
I don't think that they look at Dak as like the unquestioned leader, regardless of his pay and position. They look at him as like their quarterback and they believe in him. They buy into him. Yes. But as far as the, hey, we need to do this and we'll follow, I think Dak is trying to become that. I don't think he has that respect with Micah, CD, DeMarcus, Lawrence, other stars in the room. Trayvon Diggs doesn't come up in this convo, but like, I don't think he demands that respect yet because the Cowboys treat so many stars like mega stars. Like, I don't know how that's fixed, but I think the DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons thing is about to explode. I think that's very clear because I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence has really got much say in there. And he's probably tired of Micah's shit.
It seems like the problem on the defense is you heard this in the locker room afterwards that like people are doing their own thing. They're not following the game plan. So people out of position. I feel like if I were smart enough to look at the film, you could really figure out who that is. I don't know. I would love to know. Keep in mind, you do have two very important positions with guys in their first year. Overshown, who's not a rookie, but this is essentially his first year because he was hurt all last year at linebacker. And then the kid they just drafted at corner, filling in for Deron Bland, Kaysen, who got absolutely steamrolled by Derrick Henry. Oh, my God, with that stiff arm. He's getting picked on, and that's really tough. So you're having those are two pretty insane spots to have, essentially two rookies at. But I don't know, man. If Micah and D-Law go at it, I think my money's on D-Law if they throw hands. D-Law's just a monster, dude.
Yeah, I think Micah certainly could scrap and like hold his own, but I think there's that like switch of like unadulterated asshole that I think DeMarcus Lawrence has.
Yeah,
Maybe
I agree.
Micah. Like Micah would be ready to stop. He might not get his ass whooped, but he'd be the one like calling for it to end first. You know what I mean?
And and something else too about Micah. Didn't he have wasn't there a back and forth with like Malik Hooker, like one of the safeties in the offseason about I can't even remember.
I thought that was it might have been Hooker, but I thought it was Bland. I was looking up Bland's injury timeline, but I thought it was Deron Bland when they were talking shit about him having a podcast and like talking on the record.
That's
Malik
what it
Hooker
was.
left and brought it up, but Deron Bland said something very similar too.
Okay. And I could see how that would rub people the wrong way, especially when they look very, very terrible. But anyway, that's it. I don't know. At this point, you're like, you look at the NFC East and you watch the Eagles who've looked
Their offenses looked terrible.
They're weird, man.
Terrible.
They can run the ball.
That's all they can do right now.
I don't think their coach is good. I don't think they like their coach. I feel like he was honestly like he's like a couple more bad losses out of like getting canned.
Yeah.
But their defense is good.
Defense is good. Barkley has had a great start to the season.
Minus that drop.
But they can't get minus the drop. But they can't get anything going in the passing game. My old tweet is looking better.
Have we recorded since that drop? I think we did. We did our show. We talked about that. I just wanted to alleviate some of the accusatory language, like bad drop, not his fault.
They should have called a pass play. Should have ran the ball.
Correct. Don't call pass play.
Sure.
And then I don't know. Stop any of Kirk Cousins' passes the next six plays. Any of them.
That's not. They didn't lose that game because of Saquon.
Take 45 seconds off the board. What are y'all doing?
I don't know. It's Sirianni's. Dude. I would be so sick of him if you were my coach.
He's so irritating.
Him and McCarthy, man.
Bad week to have AJ Brown and
Jaden Daniels
and Smith out, but yeah,
fair. I'm worried about Devontae. That was particularly brutal. I don't know if they said is there going to be a fine on that hit? Was that a clean hit? I didn't even see if it was flagged.
It's one of those where like his size makes it look worse. Plus, it might have been a little bit borderline. You know?
Yeah.
Like him weighing 160 is not helpful.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. Okay.
And Quinn.
Hey, man. I gotta say, I've always liked him, and that was pretty dope to see last night. I didn't watch all of that game, but I watched enough.
The pass he had to Terry McLaurin,
Mm-hmm.
where he got hit and just dropped it in the bucket from 50 yards.
It's pretty dope.
Was unreal, an unreal play. They're excited about Jaden Daniels.
Terry McLaurin feels like he's been in the league 12 years. I believe this is his 5th or 6th year, but for some reason that name, it's just like that is like a depth receiver on your fantasy team for like the last decade.
Yeah. Yeah, they look all right, man. The Commanders look all right.
What else?
Let's
Andy
well,
Dalton?
let's oh yeah.
Didn't watch that game.
I didn't watch the game, but I did I was just like, it's funny to see what Andy Dalton, I forgot he was even on a roster, and then he comes in and looks like that. That's kind of fun.
It's if nothing else, like it helped that coach probably add a year to his career, or to his time in Carolina. Because yeah. Anyways, we'll get to Carolina talk down the road.
Yeah.
You talk about TD.
Any other NFL thoughts?
None from me.
Okay. TD, Tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Personally, I call them Tud McTudsters.
That is what you call them.
Yeah.
Tud McShays. An official sportsbook betting partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like, I don't know, how about a player scoring a touchdown? I believe last week I was all over CeeDee Lamb. I was like, CeeDee Lamb, dude, that's the guy who's going to score. He didn't score. In fact, he was yelling at his quarterback on the sideline. It went quite sadly. But hey, man, Kevontae Turpin, is that guy going to get used more? I don't know. Let's get out of there. How about Josh Allen just taking one to the house on his own? That's my bet. You can go check out DraftKings Sportsbook app. Check out the upcoming games. If you're ready to do a touchdown dance of your own, you can score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WASHED. That's code WASHED for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms. DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's talk college football.
Ooh.
Where do we begin? Do we talk about Roderick Daniels Jr. running one back against TCU?
Okay, Jay, you want to talk about your ponies?
I certainly would enjoy the opportunity to revel in the final schedule iron skillet. It was a hot ass day. And I only bring that up because the last time TCU played at SMU, it was embarrassing because there were like endless lines at concession stands. They ran out of water. It was like one of the all-time worst stadium experiences. And it was just people just trashing on SMU, and SMU got beat. So to have a brand new stadium edition met by like otherwise like perfect conditions as far as operations go, it looked nice. We look like a real place. These are problems that like Texas doesn't have to worry about, like if the POS systems are working properly and how that'll reflect on their program. That's what like little programs worry about. Like, shit, are we going to scan people in the gate sometime? Like legitimately, that's what the talk was at the time. But so to have a day like this come up and win, great. To have a day where you win big, phenomenal. To have a day where your former head coach, who pretty much threw a peace sign, went to your rival, took half your recruiting class overnight, and beat the shit out of him so bad that he cusses out a ref and gets kicked out in that first half of the game. To have it go down like that, the best experience I could have ever asked for.
Man, is it weird to anyone else that they were in the national championship like 2 years ago and like now they're a program that no one even thinks about?
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
It's pretty wild. It's hard to believe that like a coach who took you to the highest level like of your program's history could legitimately get fired after this year.
And I shouldn't say no one cares about him. Obviously people do, but they seem like such an afterthought program at this point. Yet they won the Big 12 and played. No, actually, they didn't win the Big 12.
No, K-State
That's
won
right.
the Big 12.
But they played for a natty 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
They lost by 1,000,000 points, but they made it there.
It's insane. It's insane. Okay, Randy, what do you got?
I was just thinking, Dave, it's not unheard of, but usually your coach just like tries aggressively hitting on someone at a gas station, like a booster or something like that. Then you get fired.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Well, Coach O. Not only
good pull.
That's a really good
pull.
pull. I didn't have Randy with the Coach O.
It wasn't on my bingo card.
Go Tigers.
By the way, I think she was a booster's wife who was pregnant, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
yes.
Just, okay, Coach. Why don't you fucking calm down, guy? Yeah, dude.
Or just leaves and moves on, like, or retires. Like, I'm looking at the former teams in the college football playoff. Cincinnati a few years back. Obviously, we don't talk about them, but Luke Fickell moved on. Great pull by Randy for LSU, but we still, they're relevant. Washington 2 years ago, last year on borderline, whatever.
Yeah, you lose your head coach and
You lose your coach and people get
your
it.
first round quarterback, and yeah, people aren't going to talk about you as much. But TCU just like fell off the map as far as like relevancy goes.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Also worth noting, like, that wasn't his team. It was his first year.
Yeah,
So Gary Patterson's team that he recruited, and also their OC is now Kendall Briles. Is this his second or this is his third year? This is either
Year two, I believe.
This is year 2 of Kendall Briles. And I don't know how many of their problems are offensive related. I know their defense is, like, thus far really, really bad. But if you follow anybody who's tweeting about TCU, they don't like. No one likes Kendall Briles.
yeah.
They didn't. And to be fair, like, friend of the show Grant, who's a big TCU guy, he hated the hire just out of principle. And I think a lot of people echo that sentiment. But he has not been good. He's he seems like he tricks it up when he doesn't need to. Like,
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah.
much like
Gimmicky kind of.
check out this gimmick when we just need a yard.
Yeah, I
guy.
saw a lot of Texas fans during the TCU run be like, "Oh, we chose the wrong coach. Like, we should have got Sonny Dykes." In hindsight, no, I think I'm pretty happy with where we are.
But yeah, I did shout out Roderick Daniels Jr., former Panther great. I did see he ran back a punt, KJ, and I was very happy to see that.
It was a good game. Yeah. SMU has Florida State this weekend, which I know is not like as big as it looked like it was going to be. But if SMU turns around and beats TCU and Florida State, like, I'm not saying the rest of the year could be a wash, but I think it answers a lot of questions. You finish the year off with 8 wins, with those 2 being a part of it. And I don't think people are like laughing at SMU on like what they gave up to be in the ACC until the ACC blows up.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Florida State, by the way, congrats to them on getting their first dub of the season.
Yeah,
Sneaking
Cal.
past Cal.
dropped 14 points on Cal's head.
14 is right on their domes.
Jesus.
14-9. Yeah, they needed that. Clearly. Sorry, Kate. Go ahead. Yeah, I
No.
interjected
You're
there.
fine. You're fine. I was trying to think of who they played. They played Cal, but BYU got a win over Kansas State, which I only mentioned in relevance because that was who stomped SMU and blah, blah, blah. Now it looks like that looks a little bit better. Transitive properties. Can we fast forward to Oklahoma? Because I think that's something that will matter to more than just
Yes.
us.
Yes. We were watching this game, or I was watching this game on my phone as we were leaving Bourbon and Beyond the other night. And, it felt like it should have been more out of hand than it actually was, considering OU's offense is just incapable of doing pretty much anything at this point. I was hard on Jackson Arnold the first few weeks of the season. I called him terrible a few times, I think. I'm going to stop dunking on the kid because he has been benched officially. He got pulled in the second half of that game. True freshman Michael Hawkins Jr. comes in and does a couple nice things. I don't think OU fans should get carried away and thinking that he's gonna, fix the offense or anything like that. But he's athletic. Made a couple decent throws, but the problem is the offensive line is just truly abysmal. Jackson Arnold was doing them no favors, obviously. He's not a good quarterback at all. But that O-line is terrible. Good defense.
Michael Hawkins, former Allen Eagle, home of Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Home of Kyler Murray.
Allen Eagle, and then transferred his senior year to one of the 78 Frisco high schools for his senior season. Very, very highly recruited.
I don't know if you guys pay much attention to Joel Klatt. He does
Joel Klatt.
I'm a fan of Joel Klatt.
He I like his commentary, especially because he loves to glaze Texas quite a bit, especially this season. So
he kind of has to. He doesn't have the right to utter anything bad about Texas, lest he want 20 million tweets with the score of his final game at Colorado.
Which was Texas beat Colorado in the Big 12 championship 70-3, the year they won the national championship, which is crazy for a conference championship. Anyway, he glazes Texas a lot, but he had something to say about the OU situation on offense, and he said like Jackson Arnold is not good. He said that the film he watched against Tennessee was some of the worst offensive film he's watched. I think he said all year or all time. He said it's not just a quarterback problem. He says they called the wrong blocking schemes for the plays, and he said the whole thing. He said the offensive line is atrocious. He was extremely critical of the offense. So
you know who their OC is?
Oh, I do.
I forgot.
This name will ring a bell to North Texas people. Seth Luttrell is the OC, and he was the head coach of the UNT, right? He was UNT, right?
He stinks, baby.
That's
Seth Luttrell,
surprising.
head coach at UNT. Prior to that, he was at North Carolina, I want to say, with whoever went somewhere. Doesn't matter. But he was the running back coach for Mike Leach and the Texas Tech Red Raiders in 2005, the year that I was there. He, along with their offensive line coach, Coach Bedenbaugh, I would group them. Lincoln Riley once did call me a pussy, but A, he was correct. B, he was my scout team coach and was always a professional, good dude outside of that. Seth Luttrell, Coach Bedenbaugh, on the other hand, by all accounts, good coaches in their own right. Also on the Dana Holgerson level of complete shitheads. The types that will dip in every conversation and every meeting, which means very little, but also kind of sets the table for what to expect from them, and will just red dog cuss you for nothing. Absolutely nothing for no reason. And that's who's leading that offense. Their co-offensive coordinator I have relation to as well, but not as important.
Seth Luttrell,
Joe John Finley's from Arlington.
a member of the OU national championship team in 2002. Did not know that.
Of course, quarterbacked by Tennessee's head coach Josh Heupel,
There we go.
who didn't take care of himself physically since that game.
Right. It's just not a. I don't think. You know, it's fair. It's fair. We don't know what kind of long-standing injuries he's dealing with.
I can't get past it.
It's tough.
It's not fair.
He's got a very good team.
He carries weight weirdly. Is what it doesn't like. You just got a big belly like some coaches do. He looks like a complete non-athlete at this point.
Look,
it's just I find it really funny, and I'm sorry. Seems like
I'm glad that you clarified, because we all three have very directly and very seriously gotten upset when someone on this show called Mike McCarthy fat in that direct term. We were not on board with that. Josh Heupel, on the other hand, I don't think that that's your intention to like explicitly just derogatorily call him fat.
He's just got sloppy
He just
bod.
looks like a melted bag of milk, and I respect it.
Okay, hang on. Okay, never mind.
He's got sloppy bod.
A melted bag of milk.
It's okay.
Look, he's got one of the best teams in the country, if you believe that at this point. OU's in trouble. Their defense is good. And I don't know. Texas OU's going to be interesting this year. I don't know who's assuming it's going to be Quinn back in there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be worried. I would not.
I'm not worried about it. OU seems to play with their fucking hair on fire in that game every single time. So it's like it's such a weird game.
If it's I wouldn't want Arch going out there against OU's defense.
But I'm more concerned when they have a capable quarterback, which they almost always do, this year being the exception. I think the Texas defense is also really, really good, and I just don't see OU scoring enough points to really make me that worried.
Fair.
We've got a few weeks, but I do remind me to bring up the 2:30 kick for that game. I'm curious to see how that plays out, given that day it's the 12th of October, but that still could be a hot ass situation in the
Could
Cotton
be.
I guess the other big game we mentioned Colorado. I've been told that Dion is prime is, like it or not, he's the face of college football. RG3 tweeted that. And actually I was thinking about it. I wanted to like rip that. And I was like, you know what? The face of college football. He's the biggest needle mover.
He's polarizing.
You don't have Saban anymore. Yes.
Like if I see the Colorado's playing, I'm going to tune in hoping that they're down by 20 points.
Well, they were down and they won because Baylor decided to just poop in a cup and hand it to him.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know what that means. Baylor choked that game away. And you got to see Travis Hunter do Travis Hunter things. And that dude is such a baller. By all accounts, will be a very, very high draft pick. But I was watching that game on my phone in the hotel lobby after we got back from Bourbon and Beyond. And what, Randy?
Are we saying, instead of saying you blew it, you're now saying you pooped in a cup and handed it to someone?
Yeah,
you know what? It wasn't a saying before it, but now it is.
Now
Look,
it
I
is.
don't know, man. Sometimes you just try things out on the show
I
and
like
you
it.
hope it catches on. I don't know if that's going to be one that people start using, but
Like the Falcons pooped in a cup and handed it to Tom Brady in that Super Bowl.
right. But like that would be. But Tom Brady, what does he do? I don't know.
They pooped in a cup and handed it to him.
Did anybody watch that game? That's a really, really bad loss for Baylor. And now Baylor's got BYU at home. Number 22 now. BYU, by the way.
How about that?
Yeah, they got that win over
Pony.
number 15 K-State. So, and over the Ponies, yes, but they
I'm
beat
just
K-State
saying.
is what got them ranked.
That's going to end up, like you said,
Um,
looking like not a bad loss. BYU's better than people have BYU like next to last in the Big 12, which I think surprised some people. But yeah, that's. I think at the beginning of the season, you would had Colorado taking Baylor. Baylor's not supposed to be good, but friend of the show, Landry, his cousin Sawyer, I'm assuming he is going to be the starter going forward for Baylor. He looked good.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
looked really good. He had some really good throws. Did everything to put them in a position to win it. And then when you give up one, like you give up a touchdown with no time left. Did you watch that game? There was a penalty and it got called back and they had to and then they score in the next one and you're running some kind of blitz and you have like two cornerbacks in the end zone. I don't know. You had two, I don't know.
Yeah.
Aranda looked like a real
Give
questionable
Colorado
guy.
credit, like for as much as we say that Colorado's trash, that Dion's trash, like there are a zillion distractions that program could have, that offensive line could have, that everybody in that room could have, because they're not a very good team nationally. But for an absolutely electric atmosphere and a game that went down to the wire, granted, it wasn't the toughest opponent in the world. Like they stayed locked in and they got the job done. Not once, but twice, damn near. Like they almost caught the Hail Mary and scored, and then they turned around and did catch it, and then went down and did what they needed to do in overtime. Like that's stuff that like really good coached teams do, or teams that are bought into what their coach believes. And the stadium stayed full for a Baylor game. Like, not saying that about Baylor, but there's no reason if you're a freaking Colorado student to be like, I'm going to stay here on a Saturday night and not like go out. Like, hey, I saw the first half and it's not going well. Like everybody was all in, and they deserve credit for that. It was not Dion. They deserve credit for that.
It was the primetime game on Fox, right? That was
yeah. National game. There was attention, and they got that like run for some reason. It was like promoted ahead of time, but it worked out.
Yeah, and to be KJ, I know you got to bounce. We'll close it out.
That's on me. Thank you.
Later. To be clear, there wasn't a penalty. Their receiver who on that first attempt at a Hail Mary just dropped it. What would have been a touchdown? They ran it back and then they got it. Rushed the field.
Yeah. That's bottom tier behavior.
Yeah. Kind of is. I mean, it's
Baylor. It's
Unranked Baylor.
Just a conference. It's a week 3 conference game. 4.
What are we miss anything else in the college football? Big stories.
I don't think so.
What about Louisville, Georgia Tech?
Yeah, we went
Oh,
to
yeah.
Louisville, Georgia Tech game in Louisville, and we had an excellent time. Had field access, which was a first for me, and it's an incredible way to take in a football game. Really impressed with the atmosphere in Louisville. Just a great time. Good football game too. They pulled it out.
That's a game of consequence because Louisville's ranked, and Louisville, that'll be a team that maybe you see sniffing around the playoff.
Yeah.
We got to see it, and I was impressed. Said this on Circling Back, but the game day atmosphere was probably the best. That had to have been the best blue chip, blue blood school game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to a game at LSU. I've been to a Texas game, and yeah, that was up there, I would say.
It was awesome. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Cooler full of alcoholic beverages. Also
Deleted about
Didn't-
9 high noons.
Didn't hurt at
A
all.
lot of high noons consumed.
Yeah.
Rooker check before we get out of here. Slipped under 300.
296,
Still got time. And
38 bombs.
doesn't matter. Still right there. 110 RBI.
Not sure.
Something like that.
Okay. Excellent season.
What
and
we're
it's not
saying is
finished yet.
good season
Yes.
as that comes to a close.
You want
All
to
right.
run it back?
Let's
Get
run
out
it
of
back.
here.
Get out of here.
The segment during which we talk about what we already talked about. KJ has white trash tendencies, we learned today. Condoms suck, but wear them. Turpin had a couple Tud McTudsters the other night. Dak is a lumbering lad in this phase of his career. Dave is impressed with CD's unique build. KJ thinks the Cowboys need a white guy. Randy with an unexpected good pull. Josh Heupel looks like a melted bag of milk. And finally, Baylor pooped in a cup and handed it to Colorado. Whatever that means. And that concludes Run It Back.
Pac-12 seems to be so back, by the way.
Yeah, buddy.
Utah State confirmed. Does that move
Yeah.
the needle?
Yeah. Gets me watching.
Now suing the Mountain West Conference for poaching penalties that are it's a whole deal, man.
It's a whole
It's about to get
situation.
real ugly,
Yeah.
but we'll continue to monitor.
Yes,
All right,
we
we'll
will.
see you next time.
Bye-bye.